Hey, we are back in our craps video series, and in this video we are going to cover what is called place bets. Okay, up to this point you've learned that you can bet the pass line. Again, that's the most popular bet because it's community. If you want to bet the shooter, even though this is not as common, you could bet don't pass. Let me take a couple dice. We're going to come out with the pass line bet just to get this going. I rolled a 4, and as you know, the puck is now on the 4. You can place odds, and I'll do that. I'll put $50 odds. Now, in the last video, I showed that we could get other bets. We could make a come bet, and basically a come bet's a brand new pass line bet, okay? The thing about the come bet, though, of course, 7-11's a winner, 2-3-12's a loser. Let's say I rolled an 8, you know, that money would roll the 8. The come bet, I can't control what number I land on, okay? Let's just say you're having a vibe and you're like, I just really feel good about the net that 6s and 8s are coming up. You can actually call out and say, I want to bet 6 and 8, okay? I'm going to move my phone for a minute because the payouts, I want to show them to you, okay? The payouts are a little different. We'll get more in depth into the payouts momentarily, but you see where it says place bets? Okay, you'll see that if you want to bet the 6 or 8, you'd have to bet increments of 6 to win 7. If you wanted to call out, place the 5 or 9, you'd bet increments of 5 to win 7. And if you called out the 4 or 10, place the 4 or 10, 5 pays 9. Now, those payouts are a little different than the odds bets. Remember, when you bet the true odds, which is right here, that is an actual true payout for the risk you're taking. When you place a bet, the casino is not going to give you a true payout. They're going to basically take a little tax on your winnings, kind of like this is the cost of doing business for you calling out a number. I'll explain that more in a minute, okay? So anyway, let me put this back here so you can see the table again. So let's say we rolled that 4, so you can see the puck is on the 4 at this time, okay? And I'm rolling, and I decide I want to make further bets here. I want to put some money on the 6 and 8. So I call out the 6 and 8. Now remember, I have to bet increments of $6. So I could put 6 on the 6. I could put 6 on the 8. I could do 12 on the 6, 12 on the 8. I could do 18 on the 6, 18 on the 8. As long as it's in increments of $6, I could do that. So I tell you what, I'm just going to pretend I'm a high roller here. I'm going to put 30 on the 6. I'm going to bet 30 on the 8. Okay, so what's going on now is, obviously, if I hit a 4, I'm going to win. I'll win the pass line. 6 or 8 come up, I'm immediately going to win on those as well. Remember, every $6 I bet here, I would win 7. So I'm going to take the dice. Here comes the second roll of the game. And I just rolled a 9. Okay, I did not hit 4, 6, 8, so nothing happened. Let's go again. Okay, this time I rolled a 10. Okay, well, 4, 6, 8 didn't come up. I didn't win or lose anything. Of course, if I wanted to, I could cover more of these numbers. Remember in the last video, I think I talked about 3 bets seem to be optimal. If you get too many bets out there, you have to win a number of them to just break even before you actually start winning. This time I rolled a 2, snake eyes. Okay, that didn't matter. Still, nothing happening. And this roll, I rolled a 7. Okay, so when I rolled a 7, I didn't hit my point, and because I didn't roll any of these before a 7, I lost those as well. Okay, so that would be an example of placing 6 and 8. Now, maybe just a couple things. Let's just say I rolled again, start a brand new game. Let's just pretend I rolled a 5. I put the odds on my 5, and I decide to put 30 on the 6 and 8 again. Let's say on the very next roll, this is another thing that's different about a place bet. Let's say on the next roll, I did roll a 6. Okay, the casino, because I rolled a 6, and every $6 I bet here pays 7, they would pay me 35. Now, this bet does not come down when I get paid. They would just throw me the 35. It's not like a come bet. Remember in the come bet, if I had made a come bet, and let's say we rolled a 10 and the money, my initial come bet rolled to the 10, you know, if I rolled a 10 again, I'd get paid even money for that bottom bet. In the case of a 10, I'd get paid double for my odds. And not only do I get my payment, the actual bet comes down as well because I rolled a 10 before a 7. Okay, the place bets stay out there as long as you want them to. Okay. One other thing I should say is, remember, let's say we had a 5 here was my point, and let's say we were rolling, and on the next roll I did roll a 5 and hit my point. Okay, so remember, I'd be paid here for my pass line. I'd be paid because I had a 5 even money up front. Behind pays 3 to 2, so I would get 3. I'd basically get 75 for my 50. Okay, so here's my winner. Now, because I hit my point, the game is over. Puck goes off. Now remember, the puck having off has a double meaning. Okay, it means we're starting a brand new game, but it has a second meaning. It means any optional bets are now inactive. These bets are optional. Okay, so if the puck is off, these bets are inactive. That means on the very next rolls, we start our brand new game, 7-11 winner, 2-3-12 loser. If I roll an 8 or 6, I won't win, but if I roll a 7, I won't lose. Okay, so those bets would be off for the next roll. Then, so let's do that. Let's just pretend I had that 6 and 8 out there. I had hit my point. I'm getting a brand new game going. I rolled a 7. Okay, I would have got paid here. Those are not affected. Okay, let's roll again. Okay. I rolled an 8 this time. Okay, now remember, I did not win or lose this. So now this money is on the 8, so I'll put my odds. So now I have a choice. I wouldn't want to leave this here. I'm getting paid better. You know, betting the 8 this way is going to have a better payout than placing it. So if it was me playing, I would probably call this down. I'd probably make another come bet to get a third bet going. Let me just do that. And I rolled a 3. I would have lost it. Now, I crapped on my come bet. Okay, so anyway, that's how I can actually place numbers. I can place bets in anything. What I want to talk about next is the payouts, because I think this is kind of misunderstood in craps. People don't understand the payouts, and when I talk about math, trying to narrow down the house edge as much as possible. So here would be an example. I put the chips out. When you make a pass line bet, okay, and let's say we roll a 6, and now my money is on the 6, so the puck is on. I got other chips here, but let's just say the puck is on the 6. If I roll another 6 and I win here, I'd get paid, $5 up front and $60 for the 50. Okay, all right. Let's say that I placed the 6. I did a $30 place bet on the 6. So again, I just called out the 6. Hey, I want 30 on the 6. Okay. Let me show the difference between the odds payout, which is, the money behind, and a place payout. So this would be the odds payout. If I did, let's say, a pass line bet and I backed it with 30, if I won the bet, I should be paid 5 here and 36 here. Let me show you that. Okay. You can see I have $30 here, and every 5 paid 6. So the $30 you can see is paying 36. Okay, but let's see what happens if I place. Okay, if let's say I just call out, I want 30 on the 6. I just call it out. So here's 6, 6. Okay, here's $30. Okay, if I roll a 6, I'm going to get paid 7 for every 6. That's the payout for the odds bet, or I'm sorry, place bet 6. Well, let's see what I won. I bet 30, and I won 7, 7, 7, 7. I won 35. Okay, now you might be, that's not a big deal. If you did the true odds, you get $36. When you place it, you only get 35. Well, the casino, basically, the house has taken $1 out of your winnings, $1 of the 36. That was kind of the cost of doing business. So if you do $1 out of 36, basically they've taken 2.7% of your winnings. The 6 roll and 8 roll has the same payout. So if you place the 8, every time you hit it, they're taking 2.7%, 2.8% of your winnings. Now, that's not a big deal, so I'm not going to lie. I have placed the 6 and 8. When you get to the 5 and 9, the cost of doing business gets greater, and that's why I wouldn't do those. Let me show you. Let's say I decided to call out the 5. I want to do $30 on the 5. Now remember, the payouts, you got to bet 5 to win 7. So if I did a $30 place on the 5, let me put 30 out here. There's a $30 place, okay? Every 5 I bet would pay 7. So let me put that out. There's 7, there's 7, and 7, 7, 7, and let me get one more 7 here, okay? So you can see if I bet 30 on the 5, I would get paid 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. Okay, so I get $42 for my $30 bet. But if I bet the pass line and the puck was on the 5 and I put 30 behind it, I get paid 1.5. Well, 1.5 of 30 is 45. Okay, so when you think about that, okay, so there's, there it is, 45. Okay, the true payout would be 45 for 30. When you place, you only get 42 for 30. They have taken 3 out of $45. So 1/15. Now, you remember when it was 6 and 8, they took about 2.8% of your winnings. If you're doing the 5 and 9 in placing, you're talking about 1/15. That's more of a 6 to 7% skim on your winnings. Okay, so it's getting greater. Let's talk about the 4 and the 10. If you put $30 on the 4, okay, if you put 30 on the 4, call out, hey, I want 30 on the 4. You're going to get paid $9 for every 5. So I'm not going to put the chips out here, but you'd get 9 for this 5, 9, 9, 9, 9, and 9. Well, 6 times 9 is 54. Okay. Let's say on your pass line, you rolled a 4 and the puck's on the 4. If you can hit the 4 on this, you get paid double for the 30, which is 60. So think about that. If I do the pass line, the true odds would be 60 for 30. When I call out the 4, I'm only getting 54 for 30. In this case, they have taken 10%, they have garnished 10% of your winnings when you place the 4 or the 10. Remember, the 4 and the 10 have the same rule, or same probability of rule. So I would say there's nothing wrong with placing bets. If you want to call numbers out, hey, I feel really good about a 6 and 8, call them out. You can place anything. You just should be aware, when you're placing the 4 and 10, every time you win that bet, the house is basically taking 10% of your winnings as a cost of doing business. It's hard to make money doing that because again, you have to overcome the probability of rolling 4s and 10s to make it worthwhile when they're skimming 10% of your winnings all the time. Anyway, that bet is called a place bet. That's the next video in my series. Moving forward, we're going to get to some of these little bets in the middle. I call those gimmick bets, but we'll talk about that in future videos.